Well, we finally have the new Linkin Park album, and oh boy. Alright, let's first address this right here and now. No, we will not be talking about any drama or personal beliefs of a band member. This is an album review and nothing else. We clear on that? Okay, good. So From Zero is the newest Linkin Park album since what was considered to be their final album, One More Light, in 2017, as that was the last album with the legendary vocalist Chester Bennington, as he unfortunately passed away the same year. And the band also seemed like they were retiring because of Chester's death, plus they weren't doing any more live shows. But then, all of a sudden, rumors started to crop up that the band was looking for a new singer, and then they started to tease something, which drew in a lot of hype, and I mean a lot of hype. And then it turned out to be a live stream of them playing a live show with a new vocalist, Emily Armstrong. And we also got to hear a new song during the show, which became a new single from this album entitled The Emptiness Machine. And she sounded pretty good. And the new era for Linkin Park began. And in my own opinion, while I was also surprised at this announcement, I also recognize that the band is still honoring Chester's memory while also moving on at the same time, and I think they found a good pick with Emily. But now that we have the context for this album, let's see if it was worth the hype or not. So the first track is just a standard intro track, nothing really to say, so let's move on. Okay, so The Emptiness Machine, as mentioned, is the first single off this album, and I think it's good. It's not anything groundbreaking, but it's good. And definitely sounds like something off of Meteora. The only really new thing here is, of course, Emily's performance, which is actually really good. Her screams are on point, and even her cleans sound good. But this isn't the only song she sounds good on, so good song. Alright, so Cut the Bridge, I think, is an okay song, though it kind of has the same problem as The Emptiness Machine in that it's not really doing anything that different or innovative for the band, but it's not the worst thing I heard, so overall, an okay track. So Heavy as the Crown is the second single release, and the music video was also a crossover with League of Legends. And I think the song is pretty good, and an improvement from track 3. In the riffs and the melodies, they sound good, and Mike Shinoda sounds great in the verses. Though I think the real highlight is Emily's vocal fry scream, which sounds amazing in the bridge, and really shows that she can almost replicate Chester's voice while also doing her own thing, so a pretty good song. And now we have track 5, Over Each Other. That is the third single, and it's good for a softer song. I do like the melody, even though it is a bit on the softer side. It does at least have a guitar in the background, so that makes it worthwhile. So I would say it's just good, like track 2. Up next is Casualty, and it's another okay song. The biggest problem is it's too short, so it never really goes anywhere, and unfortunately seems like filler. Though the only thing saving it is the main riff and Emily's screams, so it's just okay. The next track is Overflow, and well, I think it has a decent melody. I do wish it was a bit heavier, and the only heavy part is toward the end, though it takes way too long to build up to that point, and so far it's probably the weakest song. It's just kind of mid. It's not bad, but mid. Alright, this next track is Two-Face. This is the fourth and final single, and this is probably the heaviest song on the record, with downtuned and distorted guitar riffs, and definitely sounds like something off of Hybrid Theory, and a lot like One Step Closer. And I think it's also the best song on the album, even if it is kind of a rehash of One Step Closer. But I think it's really good. The next song is Stained, and this is a decent track, but again, it's not really a song that does a whole lot, so not really much more to say other than it's just decent. Now there's IGYEIH, which is an acronym for I Gave You Everything I Had. I will say it's at least a clever song title, but this is another song that I think is pretty good. I mean, it's also a song that's nothing unique, but it's a fun, heavy song that has good riffs, a good melody, and Emily's good screams, so I dig this song. And now we have reached the end of the album with the final song, Good Things Go. And while not a bad track to end on, it's also another song that was a missed opportunity to be a really heavy song. But I think it's also okay. Alright, so in conclusion, this album is kind of a return to form with the heaviness of old Linkin Park, but it also has softer songs, which I don't mind as long as there's not too many of them, and this album does have a couple that are. And it didn't really have a single awful song. Not only that, I definitely think Emily is actually a good vocalist. Will she ever fully replace Chester? Well, no, of course not. But she definitely has a lot of promise for future albums, so with all that in mind, my final rating for this album is a 7.5 out of 10. It's not the greatest Linkin Park album ever, but it is certainly not a bad one. And that is gonna do it for today. And be sure to drop your thoughts in the comments below about this album or the review. Just please try to keep it about the album itself and not any drama with the band. And as always, I will see you all next time.